I have a question for you. Are you just listening to this podcast or are you taking action? I am glad you're here. Don't get me wrong. I love that you're listening to this and I hope that you're gaining some valuable information. However, the only way that you are going to start getting clear in your personal life and to start seeing the possibilities is for you to actually take the action. Because guess what? It's one thing for us to hear it, and it's an entirely different thing for us to take the actions that we need to do to improve our life. So here's the deal. I'm going to be giving a personal update because this is how I'm holding myself accountable. I'm saying my audience is depending on me, not only to show up every week, but to show them what is possible. And that is my goal in this podcast, to allow you to see your opportunities. And trust me, they're there. They are just hard to see until we start changing what we do and taking the actions to make them come into visibility. So today I'm going to be sharing my personal updates and how my journey is going. And honestly, I really hope that you'll send me a message and let me know how you're doing. You can do this on Facebook or send me an email, however you choose to do it. I would love to know how you're doing, or even better, if you implement something that you learned from my podcast and tag me on social media. I would totally love that. So, thanks so much for tuning in. And without further ado, are you ready to shift your mindset and tap into the opportunities that are waiting for you right now? Let's go. Welcome to the Creating Clarity podcast, where we talk all about clearing the fog, shifting our focus, and uncovering the opportunities that are hidden right in front of us. I'm your host, Dr. Liz Aguirre. Before I begin, I must emphasize that this work is separate from my professional medical work and does not represent medical advice or opinions of any specific organization. Today, I'm going to be giving everybody an update on how I'm doing because this season of the Creating Clarity podcast, I have been focusing on the things that I have needed to work on in my life to be the best version of myself. I work toward the me first movement because I know that when I put myself on the back burner, I wasn't doing so great. And sometimes we have to do that. I realize that. And I probably will have to do that again at some point. But along the way, I recognized when I went too far and was putting too many other things in front of myself. And that's when I really, again, learned the importance of putting me first. So today I'm giving an update on my wellness journey. And many of you know I've been talking about the weight that I've gained over the last couple of years with COVID, specifically the last year as I changed my morning routine. So I will be talking a little bit about my morning routine because now that I'm getting back on track with that, things are going so much better. But today is really updates on where I am. So, the first thing I'll say is I'm still working on my mindset around all of this. I'm not quite there, but I'm making progress. Again, my goal is no longer to lose weight and be skinny. I had those superficial goals in the past. They don't work. And what happened was I got to the point where the willpower was not enough. And I finally threw my hands up and said, forget this. I'm going to eat what I want and I'm going to be a bum. And that never helps anybody. So I am learning to work on the mindset around things about why I'm eating, why I want to exercise, and how I think about those things, because those things are what's going to help me make the mindset shift instead of relying purely on willpower. Because I finally came full circle and realized that, yep, willpower is limited and I'd lost the willpower. The next thing I'll say is it's important to celebrate the small wins. I had been forgetting this along my journey, but my husband, fortunately, has been calling me out when I'm voicing disappointment in my progress. I think this is also very, very important because so many times we're focused on the end result and we're not realizing the baby steps that we're making in the positive direction right now. If we focus on that as I'm starting to come around to, then I realize that I am still moving in the forward direction, even if it's not as fast as I would like to. So, my husband has reminded me just how far I've come. And for reference, I am on week 9 of my recommitment to myself, and I've lost 19 pounds, which is about 2 pounds per week. So I am actually doing extremely well. But if you had asked me last week, I would have been like, it's going okay. And I wouldn't have really been seeing it. So my husband helped me there. So celebrate the small wins. And as you do that, you will realize you are making forward progress. Now, along those lines, I have gotten discouraged many, many times, and I've had to remind myself over and over again why this is so important to me. When I connect to that underlying reason and that emotion is triggered, it makes it all worth it to me. And again, if you haven't done the work to dig deep and go down several layers until you figure out the real reason that you want to get back on track with weight loss or your health journey in whatever capacity that is, then you're going to want to stop because if you don't really have a deep seated reason for why this is important to you, then it's easy to give up when the going gets tough. So, to do this, again, you want to ask yourself why? And when you get to that emotional trigger where like you feel the emotions and you start to feel it in your body, then you know that you're finally there. Now, sticking with a plan is very important. Yes, that means you have to decide on the plan ahead of time, what you're going to do, and stick with it. Sticking with the baby steps is so important because, like I said, you'll get discouraged and you'll feel like giving up. I am now choosing to focus one day at a time and focusing on the actions that I need to take to reach my ultimate goal. I am not looking at my ultimate goal anymore. I'm focusing on the day to day actions that I have to take. At the end of the week, I am doing my weekly weight check so I can report back to my dietitian. But for the most part, that's the extent of what I'm doing in terms of focusing on the weight loss. Instead, I'm focusing on the foods I put into my body, the water that I'm drinking, the steps that I'm taking, and the exercise I'm doing. And of course, I'm focusing on the mindset. I can't tell you enough. This was my biggest complaint to my dietitian is that it was still hard and it was still taking a lot of willpower. And so I really have been doing all the things that I am suggesting to you guys. I'm listening to other podcasts. You'll hear a couple of guests on this podcast that are going to be guest visitors and they have their own podcasts. And I will share that during those episodes as well. So you can see where I'm going so that I am constantly working on my mind in some capacity. Not a single day goes by that I am not working on my mindset. It is constant work for me, whether that's reading, listening to podcasts, talking to my husband, journaling to reflect. I am doing something. I'll also say that there are many, many people on this journey who are now recommitted and remotivated and focusing on their health and wellness journey. I can't emphasize enough how important it is to visit your doctor throughout this journey. If you have any medical problems, please make sure you're checking in with your doctor. As you lose weight, as you change how you're eating, you might have to back off some of the medications that you're taking. Having awareness in how your body responds is really important. I've mentioned in the past, I was vegan for 3 years. My nails were really brittle and I was losing my hair. That was not working for me because I was not appropriately keeping track of the macronutrients. There is a way to do it. I wasn't doing it. So you have to be in tune with your body and how it's responding and make sure you're checking in with your doctor, your coach, your dietitian, or whoever it is that's working with you throughout this journey. But again, if you have medical problems, please talk to your doctor. Next, I'll talk about the type of exercise. I think I shared with you guys that I started Pilates. I had never done Pilates before. I was not enjoying it, but I was committed to doing it for at least 30 days. And I am well past that 30 days. I'm going into 2 months and I am absolutely loving it. I didn't know that I would love Pilates this much. So, if you are doing an exercise that you are literally dreading and you just do not like it at all, I would strongly encourage you to try something else. And your mind is going to offer you things like, that is so expensive. I would never spend that kind of money for a membership. But what you don't realize is when you are on this health journey and you're committed to exercising and you're committed to eating good foods, it really does save you a lot of money. I just about fell on the floor when my husband told me how much money we were saving by not eating out because of this program. I'm telling you, it has paid for my coaching and my gym membership for Pilates. So our mind is going to try to tell us, I can't because of this, or that's not possible because of XYZ. I really want you to challenge those thoughts. And again, find the exercise that's working for you. If it is hurting your body, I want you to reconsider whether that's the right exercise for you as well. And as I was on this journey, I did get a lot of help for the aches and pains that I was experiencing. I was getting massages. I went to Rossi and had myofascial release. I was doing acupuncture. I had chiropractor. I was doing needling. I had done so much. But it really wasn't until I shifted to Pilates where I was focusing on slow and steady muscle building, strengthening exercises that all of the aches and pains literally fully went away. And it's because I'm listening to my body and I'm not doing things that are hurting myself. And if you recall, if you have been on the podcast with me for the last couple of months, you know that I told myself I was going to listen to my body, and I'm doing that. So it's been great. I'll also say that all or none thinking has gotten me in trouble in the past. I've made this mistake over and over again, thinking I've messed up, so I might as well not do it at all. If you snooze through your alarm, for example, you might think, I have no time to exercise now. I only have 15 minutes. Guess what? That is still 15 minutes and it will keep you in the routine. So go outside for a quick walk, do some push ups or jumping jacks or lunges in your house or whatever it is. Even if you only have 5 minutes, even if you only have 2 minutes, it is some kind of physical activity that is keeping you in that routine. So don't fall victim to the all or none thinking, which I have as in the past, because it is not helpful. And that is one of the sure ways that you'll want to give up. But also recognize you are not alone. There are so many times that I have been feeling like I wanted to give up. But if you talk to a trusted friend or a coach or an advisor, then it is very, very helpful. Let this person know what you are challenged with. Trust me, they will see it differently. My husband has been so helpful in calling me out for my limiting beliefs. And when I'm thinking that it's just not going as planned, which I thought about frequently at the beginning, my husband was there to help me go back and remind myself, look, I am making progress. So having a coach is really, really helpful. I have a weekly check-in with my dietitian that's helpful. So find what works for you. You don't feel like you have money to pay for something, that's okay. Find an accountability buddy, a friend that's going to call you every morning and say, hey, are you getting up? Are you working out? Do you want to go together? Whatever the case may be. Hey, did you stay on track with your diet plan? Again, I don't like the word diet. I'm using that term just for simplicity, but staying on target with the plan that you had in mind is what I'm getting at. But all that to say, this reminds me again of the quote I heard a few weeks back. Don't talk to your friends like you talk to yourself, because then you won't have any friends. So what that means is we have a lot of negative self-talk with ourselves, and we would never talk to a friend like that. Never. So call a trusted friend, because they are not going to talk to you with that negativity that our mind feeds us sometimes. And talking to that person will help you quiet those thoughts and see that they're just not valid. Moving on, another thing that I have learned with my journey is I have to create some blank space, some quiet space for me, because I always have my day planned out with a million things going on. I work a lot. I work on this platform. I'm spending time with my kids. I'm about to start coaching my girls' volleyball team again. I do a lot. So for me, it's not just being able to step away and exercise and meditate and do these things. I also have to be able to step away and do nothing. Just get away, go sit on a massage chair and get a pedicure, or go get a massage. Those things help me a lot when I create that space to just recharge when I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed and feel like I have too much on my plate. So give yourself permission to take the breaks, but be sure you have a clear plan that you're sticking with and you're going to get back on track with, because hopefully you'll hold yourself accountable. But if not, make sure you have somebody else holding you accountable so that you stay on track. But it's okay to take a break. If things are just feeling really hard in the moment and you need to take a break, take a break. Next, I'll say realize how great you are. Again, I keep going back to my husband because he is constantly reminding me of my greatness and the value that I have by sharing my podcast and my voice and speaking. These are all things that I take for granted because they're just part of me now. But my husband reminds me, look, you are doing so many amazing things, not just for our family, not just for you, but for other people. And him reminding me of that has been so, so helpful. And, whenever he does, I put that in my journal and try to remind myself again in the future. Speaking of journal, I do practice gratitude in my journal. When I'm practicing gratitude, I cannot even tell you how my heart is literally exploding with happiness. I'm not just happy for me either. I'm happy for what other people have when I see them experiencing great things. And especially when I'm on my fitness journey, when I see other people getting fit, I'm not getting envious anymore. I'm getting inspired. I'm feeling uplifted. I'm happy for them that they've been able to accomplish it. And this is a mindset shift for me that has happened through a practice of gratitude. So when I take those baby steps to reclaim my health and I am practicing gratitude for the baby steps that I have accomplished, it is helping me a lot. So practicing gratitude is something I would highly recommend. Also, keep inventory of what is working and what is not. I do this in my journal because when I go back and I flip through and I look at things, I see, ooh, I don't want to fall in that trap again. I need to remind myself that that's where it led. So keep inventory of what's working and what's not. Okay, this is a new one for me. And yeah, I am pretty excited about this, but buy a new outfit. I used to make myself wait till I was the quote perfect weight or I got to my quote goal. But honestly, my goal is to show up every day and take the baby steps. So I allowed myself to buy a bunch of new workout outfits and I am so happy about it. Man, I feel so good. I feel amazing. I feel like you can see my muscles and just the power of having kind of a little mini makeover with new workout outfits has really helped me feel energized and feel like I'm really seeing results. So reward yourself with a new outfit or something else, but not necessarily food, right? Find what makes you happy. Is it a new outfit? Is it time for a pedicure, a massage, a girls' night out at local coffee shop to catch up? Decide how to reward yourself for just following through with the process. Not for the end result, not for the weight loss that you have claimed, not for any of that, but for holding yourself accountable and following the steps to continue along the journey, and the goal is at the end, right? But it's not the end point. That's just, something that you're working toward, but it's who you become along the way during your journey that really matters. I am becoming a person who is committed. I am becoming a person who is not allowing myself to talk mean to myself. And trust me, just a few short weeks ago, I was still really mean to myself. So I am making a lot of big strides. I wanted to share my updates with you today. Hopefully, you found this helpful. Maybe there were some nuggets in there that helped create a little mindset shift. But when you keep showing up, when you keep listening to other people's experiences, when you keep reading, when you keep growing, these are the things that over time create a mindset shift. I am not trying to create a mindset shift in one episode. I am trying to show up every week to water the seeds. And then one day the mindset shift happens and you start to really see the opportunities that are right there waiting for you. And you're wondering, wait a minute, how did I not see this before? It seems so simple. Well, the answer is you've been doing the hard work all along. Those baby steps are the hard work. That is the journey. That is taking you to become the person you want to be. And then when you get to that quote end goal, you're going to realize that's not the goal. I'm going to keep going and I'm going to establish new goals and I'm going to keep moving forward because this is awesome. I hope you found this helpful and I will see you next week. Bye, everybody. Thanks for listening. Make sure you hit subscribe so that you won't miss the next episode. And if you like this episode, please share it with a friend and give me a 5-star review so that I can reach more people. I'll see you next week. If you are hosting a conference, think about starting the event with a mindset talk. When you help the group collectively shift their mindset, the ideas will flow and new opportunities become much more clear. Visit my website, lizaguirremd.com, and fill out a contact form to learn how you can book me as a keynote speaker for your next event.
Disclaimer: the views and opinions shared here are for information and educational purposes only. They do not serve as a medical or professional advice. They do not represent any academic, medical, or professional institution or organization. If you found this helpful, don't forget to leave a 5-star review.
Thank you.